Hello, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel. And today's video is going to be my February 2023 TBR, actually coming out on the first day of February for the first time and probably ever, and also maybe the last time ever. Okay, so February is Black History Month, so I do want to focus on Black authors here for this TBR. I'm going to start with 4 books for this TBR. With the way I've been reading, I do think that that is probably going to take up the whole month, but we'll see how it goes. The content warnings for all of the books I talk about today will be linked down below in the description. One of these books on the TBR does have a list of resources in the back of the book, and I will also have those linked down below, as well as a couple of other links that I have come across and just want to include too. So with that, let's go ahead and start with my current read. And that book is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. This is a magical realism story that takes place in New York City and follows a group of characters who can feel the pulse and the soul of the city itself, as New York itself has 6 souls, some that are ancient and some that are new and destructive. So at the time of filming this video, I am currently on page 51 of this book. The first thing that stood out to me immediately is just how vivid and vibrant the imagery and the descriptions are. The story does really feel like a love letter to New York City in a lot of ways, and those moments have really worked for me and also have me excited to continue on with the rest of the story. And even though the imagery is what has stood out to me most about this book, the characters have also really held their own in the battle for my attention, and I feel like they are really coming to life so far. This is a story that does have a lot of words in it, and I feel like it's teased and referenced an element of this story that I just don't fully understand yet, but I do think that as I keep reading, I will. And I'm hoping to get that clarity sooner rather than later, but I'm excited for it whenever it happens, because based on what I've read so far, there are a lot of really amazing things going on here. So from this point on, we're just going to go in alphabetical order, which brings us to Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This book takes place 17 years prior to The Hate U Give and follows Maverick Carter when he finds out that he is a father. However, his gang connections and participation complicates and impacts this. And also, while we're here, Concrete Rose is the prequel to The Hate U Give, and The Hate U Give follows our main character Star Carter, who is trying to balance her life in between the neighborhood where she lives and the prep school that she attends. However, that balance gets shattered when she witnesses the death of her unarmed best friend at the hands of a police officer, and his death becomes a national headline. Between The Hate U Give and then this author's other book on the come up, there has not been an Angie Thomas book that I have read that I have not loved. And I'm sure this one will be no different. It has really amazing reviews, and I'm very interested in this storyline because not only do I think that it's going to be able to hold its own by itself, but I'm also really looking forward to learning more about this character and just having that extra development for The Hate U Give. This book here is probably my strongest 5-star prediction on this TBR, but it is definitely not the last because I do think that all of the books in this video have a good chance at it. Next up is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. I'm very proud of myself for catching this. This follows our main character Chloe Brown, who comes up with a list of how to get a life after almost dying. She wants to do something bad, which for Chloe is not as easy as it sounds, even with her step-by-step guidelines. So she enlists a heartthrob handyman artist with tattoos and a motorcycle to be her teacher. And she begins to learn things about him and what truly lies beneath his tough exterior. This is going to be my Valentine's Day read this year, and based on all of the hype around it, I think that it's going to be a really, really good one. Romance novels do tend to sit around on my TBR for just unacceptable amounts of time, and I'm hoping that this book is going to be the one that finally stops that from happening. I also know that this book is the first book in a series, and I would love to read all of them eventually, so I am definitely excited to start my journey with this series soon. This book does sound really cute and fun, but I did catch a glimpse at the author's note in the front of it, so I know that cute and fun is not all that this book has going on, and that it does have really serious elements to it as well. And knowing that has really only strengthened my interest in this book, which I did not know was possible, but apparently it is. I also do have my eye on Highly Suspicious Outrageous and Unfairly Cute, which is also by this author, because adorable romance novel covers will never fail to make me haul them eventually. And the last book on this TBR is This Is My America by Kim Johnson. This follows our main character Tracy, whose father is an innocent black man who is on death row. Every week she writes letters to an organization known as Innocence X asking for their help. However, she is beginning to run out of time, and when her brother gets accused of killing a white girl, Tracy begins to investigate what really happened between them and uncovers the racist history of their Texas town and how that history still haunts the present. This was my most anticipated release of the year a few years ago, and I have let it sit around unread on my TBR for way too long. But even with those years between us, my interest in this book has not left, not in the slightest bit. This is the book that I mentioned at the beginning of the video that has the links in the back, and those links are to various criminal justice organizations, and once again they will be down in the description. This is yet another one that has a really good, a really high rating on Storygraph, which is always really lovely to see, and overall I am very much looking forward to finally reading this book, because it really does just sound so amazing. And also the cover is so amazing, like a lot of these covers. All of these covers, actually. Okay, so those are all the books that I have for this TBR. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that. And hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye.